Hi everybody, hope you've had a great week. Did you know that it is just 5 months until Christmas? And some people celebrate Christmas in July, so I've got some Christmas decorations here and we're going to talk about Christmas in July. I've got a little Christmas tree and a nativity set, a little ornament here, some Christmas books, and some favorite holiday traditions. It really seems almost too hot to think about Christmas, but it will be here soon. And stores are beginning to have Christmas things in them, and so we kind of begin to start thinking about it this time of the year. Some people really do start getting ready for Christmas early. And one of those organizations that gets ready early is Operation Christmas Child. They pack and help people send over millions of shoe boxes, and so they have to get started really early. So we're going to talk about that today. It's part of Samaritan's Purse, and I mentioned it a couple weeks ago, but I'm going to talk about it in detail today. For the last 2 weeks, we've been talking about kindness and doing things that are kind for others. We started with the story of the Good Samaritan when he did kind acts to a person in need, and he gave his money and his time to help someone in great need. And last week we talked about acts of kindness that you could do. I hope you've been doing some of those things. One way that we're kind to people is by giving presents. You may give birthday presents or presents when someone has a new baby or when somebody gets married. Well, we want to talk today about giving presents to children who have very little. I imagine most of you have a lot of toys and a lot of games and lots of fun activities you can do. But there are boys and girls in the world that have almost nothing. They might be in the middle of a war in their country. They're very poor. Sometimes they have terrible diseases and don't have much food. So we can pack boxes and give them to these children who have almost nothing. Have you ever heard of a flying shoebox? Well, I have a big box over here to remind us about our project. And it has wings on it, because after these little presents are packed away in boxes, they're sent on huge airplanes. And they are sent all over the world, countries in Africa and South America and Asia, and places that are very poor and very needy. So you could think of your shoebox as a flying shoebox. Operation Christmas Child has been sending presents to children since 1993. That's 27 years of this project. And more than 178 million children in more than 150 countries have received an Operation Christmas Child shoebox. Last year, in 2019, more than 10.5 million shoebox gifts were collected. That's a lot of shoeboxes. Also takes a lot of volunteers, people who help to work on this project. The mission of Operation Christmas Child is to provide God's love in a tangible way to children in need around the world, and together with the local church worldwide to share the good news of Jesus Christ, the greatest gift of all. I want to show you some pictures from around the world where children have gotten these shoe boxes. There's some children in China. And over here is in the Amazon rainforest. It looks like they're walking through a river carrying their shoebox on their head. There's some little boys, looks like on a barge or some kind of boat. And that happy little child getting a soccer ball. And then some children in Mexico and the Philippines, all over the world. You might have studied about some of these countries in school, but it's neat to think that the shoebox, the gifts that you've packed, can go a very long way. You can think about each shoebox as a missionary going with the gospel message. We may not be able to travel to the Philippines or to Mexico or to China, but we can pack a shoebox and send it to children there, and people that live there with them can tell them about Jesus. The other neat part about the shoebox is they get a little book called The Greatest Journey, and in that, they're lessons that they go through with their teachers that lead them in the local churches around the world, and they learn the stories. This is the story of the Good Samaritan, and boys and girls across the world will hear the story of the Good Samaritan, and learn, and many of them have learned about God and have accepted Jesus in their hearts. They say that more than 11 million children have asked Jesus to live in their heart because of the Greatest Journey, the book, the little Bible lessons that they go through. It is a tangible, which means a hands-on way to fulfill the Great Commission, which says to go and make disciples. And if you remember, we've talked about several times, the mission of our church is to love God, love people, and make disciples. So by sending these shoeboxes, we are helping to make disciples around the world. Well, I want to just very briefly tell you what to put in your shoebox. Some of you have done this for years, but if not, if you've never done it before, starting in September, we will have the plastic shoeboxes like we did last year, and they'll be empty, and you can pick them up at church, and we'll give you all the details. And you'll go out and find fun things to put in the shoebox for children. And make sure you make it something fun. You pick out if you want to do a boy or girl, and there's ages 2 to 4, 5 to 9, or 10 to 14. And you fill your box with things that you think someone that age would like. Markers and school supplies, little puzzles, crayons are great. Maybe a little thing of cars. These are some Matchbox Hot Wheel cars. Puzzles. This is a little craft project. A bar of soap. This has a flashlight. Let me kind of empty this out. Card games, pencils, a coloring book. Just fun things that children would like. Make it as fun a box as you can. Make sure you put in something stuffed, like a stuffed bear or stuffed dog, something that they can cuddle and play with and have as their own. And then we'll return the shoeboxes in November, so you have a long time. And sometimes there's good back-to-school sales right now where you can get some extra crayons, extra colored pencils, and notebooks and things. And children would love to get those presents. I want to close by reading a verse from Matthew 19. It says, "Let the children come to me, and do not hinder them, for the kingdom of heaven belongs to such as these." Amen.